This is Ready, Set, Reiki, a podcast about Reiki, the universal energy life force. From the curious beginner to the seasoned master teacher, welcoming all systems, all lineages, and all levels. Reiki is a journey and not a destination. And on this Ready, Set, Reiki journey, we refer to ourselves as guides rather than hosts, as we too are supporting, traveling, and learning on this Reiki journey as well. And with that said, I am your first guide, Tracy Seawright.
And I'm your second guide, Millie Pampina.
And today, what a fantastic episode we are going to have. We have the power of three, Kid Reiki, right here in the house here. And so we have three amazing guests. What a powerhouse of information we have here. So we have number one, April Walker. She is an intuitive energy reader, practitioner, Reiki master teacher, assisting clients all around the world with emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual well-being, background in hospital wellness program, as well as working with physicians who use integrative and alternative healing techniques. She is also a college professor teaching adaptive physical education, health, child development, human services, and psychology courses. She is a teacher in the licensed teacher program. Welcome, April. We're going to do this a little different today because we have two other guests waiting, but we're going to start right in with April. So April, welcome to Ready, Set, Reiki.
Thank you for having me.
So we're going to start off with our very first question. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am a Reiki teacher. I teach internationally, and I love Reiki. It's my first love in energy work. I'm located in Sonora, California, which is by Yosemite, and have offices here and in Modesto, California.
Beautiful. Now, our second question is, how did Reiki come into your life? Did you find Reiki or did Reiki find you?
That's such a good question. Reiki really found me. My son and I were very ill, and we were looking at some alternative options to feeling better because traditional medicine wasn't enough for us at that time. And somebody introduced Reiki to me, and I felt so good afterward. I just became obsessed. I mean, it was such a difference that my husband said, "Wow, you have a lot of energy. What's going on?" So I just started taking classes and working with it and continued. I've been like that ever since, on this absolute next, more Reiki, please. Yeah, since that time.
Wonderful. So you are a seasoned master teacher out there internationally. So tell us, what is a common misperception about your work?
Oh, that it's really woo-woo. That it's really woo-woo. I think that a lot of times it's like, people have misperceptions about that. And it's more common than people think. It's being used in hospital programs, even at, Stanford here in California. So yeah, it's not woo-woo. I think that that Reiki and energy work has been around for such a long time. It's just that we have forgotten about it in the more industrialized society.
Wonderful, wonderful. So when it is time for you to get your little Reiki tune-up, what is some qualities that you look for in a Reiki practitioner?
That they're willing to do their own healing work and that they're willing to learn and share with others. I think that it's an ongoing learning and healing journey, and so that they give to themselves as well as to other people.
Beautiful. So as a ICRT master teacher, so what advice would you give someone just entering this profession?
Start with self-treatment. Start with self-treatment for sure. Learn how to do it and start working on yourself. Receive sessions from other people. That's what I would say.
Wonderful. Now the part is, tell us about all the other modalities you do and let us know where we can find you if we want to book a session with you or take a training with you.
You can find me at aprilwalker.com. And I teach other energy modalities, quantum touch, for example. Introduction to muscle testing is a very popular one. Healing for empaths. There are several other classes that I teach. I also do mentoring. one-on-one mentorship and then group mentorship programs. And I find that this is helpful in getting people going in their businesses or even in their personal practice.
Beautiful. And is there anything else that you would like to tell our listeners that you'd like to let us know?
I think that reducing suffering is sort of a mission with how Reiki can help bring in energy to look at whatever that is, whether it's spiritual, whether it's mental, emotional, physical, and just never give up. Just don't give up. Bring Reiki in, work with Reiki to reveal some of those answers. It's really an amazing healing art.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Now we're going to do a little different where we're going to head over to our next guest, and it is Cami CotÉ. And she is a licensed Azui Holy Fire Reiki master teacher based in Montana. She teaches and provides the gift of Reiki to communities in Montana, Idaho, and Washington. Cami has a love for learning and has completed extensive training in yoga, clairvoyant hearing, reflexology, and sound healing. She has been a Reiki practitioner since 2012. So welcome, Cami, to Ready, Set, Reiki.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Wonderful. So let's start off with, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. My name's Cami, as Tracy said, and I live in Missoula, Montana. So, Montana, northern state, and my city is about 80,000. So cute little city basically to live in. And I am married. I have 2 dogs and a cat, and I'm a full-time Reiki practitioner, and I love my life.
I love it.
Yeah.
So tell us, when did Reiki come into your life?
Yeah, so I was reflecting back on this. I first heard about Reiki probably in my late 20s. And I will honestly say, like, in that timeline, I thought, oh, it's totally woo-woo. I remember specifically thinking, what do you mean you don't you don't massage the person? Then flip forward about 12 years and here I am, or 15 years, and here I am, a Reiki master teacher and doing the thing. So Reiki kind of entered into my life, and I had all of these sort of misconceptions about it, which I know is your next question. But then I really started to work with Reiki and received the initiations in 2012 and continued on from there. So, yeah.
Beautiful. I love it. And you have just soared from there.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. So what is a common misperception about your work?
Yeah, so I would say that one of the most common misperceptions is that April already said it, woo-woo thing. And then also that it doesn't work, or that it's a placebo effect type of thing. And I think one of the challenging parts that we have is that it can, in some cases, be a little hard to qualify. I use this analogy a lot. For example, a heart surgeon will go in and they'll crack open the chest and they will go in and fix the valve. Whereas we might do that energetic healing work, but it's hard to say, like, oh, we didn't just crack open the chest and make this big scar and do all of that. So, yeah.
Beautiful way to put it. Thank you for sharing that. Mm-hmm. So when it's time for you to get a Reiki treatment, what are some of the qualities that you look for in a Reiki practitioner?
Definitely. I actually try to receive from another practitioner once a month, if at all possible, maybe even more than that. So I truly believe that healers need healers. And I look for someone that I feel comfortable with, that I feel safe with. I don't necessarily feel like they have to be the highest trained, most like full-on amazing, whatever we might think. I actually like to receive from my students. So I find that a Reiki 1 practitioner can facilitate a beautiful healing experience just as much as the grandest, most amazing Reiki master there is out there. So I truly love to receive from anyone that is doing the practice.
Beautiful. And thank you for sharing that, because a lot of people, when they start out, they feel they lack the confidence. But
Right.
it doesn't necessarily mean, when you look at Dr. Azui, he was only doing this for 4 years, right?
Right. Exactly.
And look, if you go biblically, how long Jesus Christ was actually teaching. So don't
Yeah,
worry about the years, right? So thank you for
definitely.
sharing that with our listeners.
Yeah.
So, with that, what advice would you give someone who is just entering this profession?
My advice is really to just get out there and practice. This seems to be one of the biggest challenges that we find as practitioners. I remember reflecting back to when I first took Reiki, uh, just taking the steps to actually be able to talk about Reiki, to know how to introduce this to the people that you know, and so on. So you've got to kind of come up with your elevator speech. You've got to really just put yourself out there and practice. And that's really useful.
Right. I know when I began my journey, I just felt if I kept studying, if I kept
Yeah.
adding this one more modality, and I just got to a point, you know what, I just need to go do it. Just be
Hmm.
out there, be in the experience.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because I'm like, are you ever going to feel ready?
Yeah. Definitely.
So, our last question together is, what other modalities do you offer and where can we find you?
Yeah, definitely. Well, as we know, I'm a Reiki master and a teacher. So I teach here in my region, Montana, Idaho, and Washington, and as well online. So you can find me online. And I also am a sound therapy teacher and practitioner. So I teach singing bowl trainings that are focused with the Himalayan singing bowls. So they're the bronze bowls, though I have a very wide and open practice with many multiple instruments. And then I also am a yoga teacher. So I actually just recently started teaching yoga online. Yesterday was my first of an 8-week series. I had taken a little bit of a break from teaching yoga due to my Reiki business really taking off and being in the licensed teacher training program and the pandemic, all the things. But I've always loved yoga and have always continued practicing. So I'm really grateful to be back in the seat of the teacher with that as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. And
Yeah.
listeners, she is also an E 500-hour teacher, correct? So
Yes, that is
that's super,
correct.
super important in the yoga world with that E in front of it. And
Yeah.
also, I learned, in our training that I took from you is that you are also a laughter yoga teacher as well.
Yes. Yes.
I love
Yeah.
that. Wonderful. I
Oh,
love that.
and I forgot to mention my website. Um, Thank you. Sorry. It's heartrhythmreiki.com. So heart as in our regular heart, and then rhythm as in rhythm at reiki.com.
Beautiful. Now,
Yeah.
is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners that you may have arised as we were talking?
Yeah. I would just say that the one question that really resonated as we were talking is this question of like, do I have enough experience to get out and practice? And I also do mentoring programs with students. So I have group mentoring as well as individual mentoring opportunities. And this is a lot of what I really try to bring to our world, is to help people to know that they are ready and that they need to get out there and to practice. So that would be what I would say. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. All right,
Yes.
now we're going to go on to our next wonderful guest, and it is Chellie Kammermeyer, and she is a licensed Reiki Master Mentor, Assistant Director of Teachers with the ICRT, with the goal of sharing Reiki with as many people as possible. She and her husband, Mike, regularly teach classes with the intention of teaching the teachers. In her personal practice, she uses sound healing, crystal healing, along with several other energy modalities, yet always combined with Reiki. She lives on the Oregon coast, teaching there, and also as the San Francisco Bay Area and Seattle area. And she is a contributor into the Reiki News magazine. So welcome, Chellie, to Ready, Set, Reiki.
Thank you.
It
Thank
has
you.
been wonderful to have you here. All right, so we're going to dive right into our very first question. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you.
So we live on the Oregon coast, where it's raining and crazy, and I was a little nervous that we weren't even going to have power this morning. But we moved here during the pandemic, and so we still go down to California in the San Francisco Bay Area where we lived before, and see clients and teach there.
Beautiful. And what I love about your work is that you work with your husband. How beautiful is that? What an amazing thing that the two of you are able to do this together. I love it.
Yeah, thank you. He, you know, 30 years ago, I wouldn't have thought that was going to be something that would ever happen. But, Reiki goes in and things shift. I think one of your questions is, how did I learn Reiki? And I learned because it was the class was a gift from my son for Mother's Day. But during the class, I realized that, because I didn't even know what he had signed me up for, to be honest. Like, I had no clue where I was going, what I was doing. And, but during the class, it hit me that my husband had had 6 back surgeries at that point, and they were talking about doing a 7th. And so maybe, Reiki could help. Well, obviously it did. And so that got him on board too. So that's how we ended up doing it together. And so once I became a Reiki master, I taught him, and, then the rest is history.
Beautiful. So you'd definitely say that Reiki found you.
Yes.
I love it. And you probably never imagined when you began that journey from that very first class, that gift that you were given, that you are where you are today.
Oh, no. Yeah. There's no way I could have. It's funny because you sit, like it's the first of the year right now. And so you sit and you think, like, what do I want to accomplish this year? What are my goals? And you go through all that, and then different things happen. And it's funny how, 25 years ago, because I've been doing this for over 20 years, 25 years ago, I could have never, ever begun to describe how much, our life would be different or better.
Right. And what a beautiful journey it has been, right?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So our next question is, what is the common misperceptions about your work?
I think when I talk about teaching, I think a lot of people believe that you have to have something special to be able to learn Reiki. Like, you have to be, already gifted, or already a healer, or already, something. And what, anybody can learn Reiki. And I think that's one of the things that I love most about it, is that anybody can learn, and everybody does learn.
Right. And even just looking at the three of you, you have such diverse backgrounds, and here you have come together to make something beautiful that we'll talk about shortly.
Yeah.
So yes, anybody can do this, and it doesn't necessarily mean that that's where you're going to stay. It may elevate you to just something that you've never imagined. Do you know, when you start on your journey, did you think 25 years ago contributing to Reiki magazine, right? ICRT, right? And then creating a whole system, right? Amazing.
Right.
Amazing. Love that for you. So when it is time for you to get a little Reiki tune-up, to see a practitioner, what qualities do you look for in a Reiki practitioner?
Okay, well, okay. So first of all, I have a husband who does Reiki.
Absolutely.
So I just sort of assume that it's going to be him.
Okay.
But if it were someone else, which I also see other people, I like people who, like April and Cami, both who are people who are doing their work, and people, and whether or not they've been doing it a long time, and people who are willing to be authentic about what they're noticing,
Yeah. They
That's
got to do
probably,
the work.
yeah, got to do the work.
Yeah. That I'm sure in your teachings, you may have students where you have where why isn't working? And then when you start peeling it back, they're not practicing, they're not doing the work,
Well,
right?
and yeah, and we don't know what our path is. We think we do, but we don't know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what advice would you give someone who is just entering this profession?
Keep going. Keep going. And get a mentor. Like, all of us are also mentors. I have a mentor program and I think that having somebody that's a cheerleader and kind of helps you stay focused is really important. And I work with people one-to-one because wherever they are is where we start. And I find that you know sometimes sometimes you just kind of have to just keep going. And even if you don't think you know the answer, a lot of times, especially a new Reiki practitioner, they already know more than a lot of their clients. So just use what you know.
Right. And I love that, where you are, that's where we start. What a beautiful thing to say, to kind of, let someone know it's okay. We'll take you where you are, right?
Yeah.
To begin that journey. Beautiful. So let our listeners know what other modalities you offer and where can we find you?
My website is it's INNER, compassreiki.com. And we're on the Oregon coast, and we're in the San Francisco Bay Area and online. And all of our information is on the website. I'm sorry, you asked another question?
Well, other modalities you offer.
Oh, other modalities. So I do sound healing, crystals, singing bowls, tuning forks, and cranial sacral. I've taken a lot of energy modality classes. When I see clients, I just sort of pull in all the stuff.
Beautiful, beautiful. And as I was looking at your website, I noticed Reiki drumming was on there.
Oh yeah, Reiki. Thank you. Yeah, Reiki drumming, crystal Reiki, all the things. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that. And now this is a special edition where we're going to ask about something that I had the privilege of taking. So in December, I had the opportunity to be in the pilot class for a kid Reiki. So what is that all about? And all three on here have collaborated and created this beautiful training program that they're going to tell you about. So I'm going to start with the first question, and here we go. So, what is the purpose of Kids Reiki?
So that's me. We all have a question.
That's perfect. And that's how you beautifully collaborate. So
Kid Reiki is Reiki for children. And it starts with the class that you took is teaching Reiki to adults. Or not, we're not teaching, we're teaching you how to, we're providing tools for you to teach children. And then it's it's to get the Reiki to children so that they don't have to undo all the layers of life that all of us in this whole group have had to do. If you could start, our theory is if you could start with healing yourself younger, imagine how different the trajectory of your life potentially could have been. And the world sure needs that right now.
Wonderful. So would you say that's what inspired you to develop this?
Well, all three of us had already started developing a children's program when we ended up together. And so it kind of all blended together. You know, I'm a grandmother. I want this world to be a better place. And so for me, that was what inspired me, because there's so much out there that children need help with right now.
Beautiful, beautiful. And the training that I took was a 3-day program that, we went through the experiences, placements, and provided so many activities. I mean, what an invaluable resource that this is to be able to go out and to teach these classes. I mean, it was extremely thorough on this. So even if you feel like, I have a background of 29 years of teaching in elementary education, but if you're someone who just I love Reiki, I'm passionate, and you just show up, this gives you all of the tools with it. I mean, it covers everything, child development, things that you would never think of. So they have covered every single aspect of it that you can confidently go into that room and you can teach kids. You got this. And this gives you the tools with that. So our next one is how did you decide the symbol? There's a symbol for Kid Reiki.
Yeah. Well, interestingly, we as we often do, we have these conversations about, what do we think about this? And we stop and we listen for the energy. And we talked about, do we feel like there will be a symbol that will come through with this program? And this actually, the symbol came through in the very first meeting that we talked, the very, very, very first time. And we were sitting there and thinking about it, and something kind of popped into my head about the little, what we often refer to as the smiley face in Honsha Seishonen, the distance symbol, and how that translates to heart in Japanese, or into English rather. And I thought, well, kids can draw the smiley face really easily. And this is heart. And then, I kind of thought a little bit deeper about it. And I thought, and then we could put the traditional symbol for the heart around it. And, so that part started channeling through. And then, we thought a little bit and we talked a little bit deeper about it. And it was like, oh, we could, think about this and being going in all the directions, and how it could be this radiant heart type of situation. So that's how the symbol came through. As it was really it just showed itself to us and was really beautiful.
Beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
And also, you also do the artwork, right? The little logo as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Wonderful. What a gift to have you on board with.
Yeah.
Do that.
Oh, sorry. The wonderful part about it is a lot of the background, I've been working on these things, but of course we all come together and we are like, do we like this? What's going on? Do we want to change it? So very much a collaborative effect on that.
Beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
And that's what was so incredible about this. When you think of okay, 3 teachers, how's this going to happen? And it works so beautifully. They complement each other so well. So, I mean, sign up, run, get on board, lots of knowledge here.
Yeah.
So our next question is, what is your favorite activity in the Kid Reiki?
I think the breathing in combination with the Reiki, pulling in the Reiki within our breath, that can help all of us on every level. And teaching it to children early with Reiki can be so amazing for their grounding and for them being in their body and all of the things that would help all of us right now today. So it's hard to pick one. There are many activities, but I think that the different breathing techniques.
Oh, beautiful. You also have I like the one about the puffer fish, where you put your thumb in your mouth. And like I said, it covers everything that you need. And there's even an interactive where there is an activity with orange juice, right?
Yes. So it's experimenting and seeing the difference of sending Reiki and, the smell and the taste difference. It's something that children and parents alike, especially when you're brand new and you're wondering, is this working? It gives you something solid to work with that you can actually see and taste the difference.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. So what has surprised you the most about teaching kid Reiki?
I think the transformation people have written, called, and said after the program that they've seen it for themselves and in their families, that there's definitely a transformative piece to this, that wow, we're thrilled to hear that, we're a part of that transformation ourselves within our own lives. And then to have people so excited about it and bringing this fresh perspective and being able to see changes in their own lives. I mean, wow.
It's amazing.
So happy about it.
Yeah. I mean, I heard buzzing about this even a year before I even got to take the class. So how wonderful is that? And it's just the beginning, right? Just the beginning. I love that for you. All right. So what is your hope for those who learn and teach Kid Reiki?
Well, we hope that they work with the energy, and we hope that they love it as much as we do, and as much as students are reporting back, that we have children being introduced to things earlier, and that adults are healing their own inner children and working with the energy to bring Reiki on a more global level earlier in life.
Beautiful. Now, before we wrap this up, is there anything as we were talking that one of you would like to share with our listeners, that as you're listening, like, oh, wait.
Yeah, actually, I do. One of the questions asked about what was the thing that surprised us the most about developing the system of Reiki. And the thing that has been really the most pronounced, I think, for all three of us, but especially myself included, is the inner child healing that has come through with this. One of the things that the three of us identified early on was that we had all had childhood trauma of varying degrees, and we've had the pleasure now of having classes where some people have said they didn't have that much childhood trauma. Life wasn't that hard, they had something, but nonetheless, a big part of everyone has had at least something that has come up in their lives. And so this program has really gone in and worked with this. And it, oftentimes I say, have your box of tissues ready, because there is a lot of processing that happens in this class. And yet it's not, it might seem a little overwhelming in the initial phase, but then Reiki and the energy, of course, comes in and supports us and holds us and helps us release those traumas a little bit easier, or more quickly, or whatever we want to say. So yeah, that's been one of my big ones, is the inner child healing.
Beautiful. And with this training, like I said, it gives you all the tools that you need to be of service and to go out and teach. And additionally, it also gives you some suggestions on the music. So we were lucky enough to have Chris Valentine in the class as well. So she also provides some of the music, and we were fortunate that she came on the podcast as well. So we get a little shout out to her as well, because that shows how they're all collaborating. They're all working together for the highest good. So I love that.
Yeah, if I can share one more thing, Chris actually recently sent us some more music. I haven't even had a chance to listen to it, but I believe what she's creating a whole album for us, essentially, that will coordinate with the different experiences and so on that we wrote for this program. So it's really exciting.
Oh, and one of the other students in the class also, she has a Reiki children's book out as well. So you were able to beautifully incorporate that in as well. So yeah, so it's a wonderful collaboration. Well, thank you. This ends our journey together on the questions, and I'm going to pass you over to my co-guide, Millie Pampina. She's got some social media questions just for you. So thank you so much. There you go.
Thank you, Tracy. That was beautiful. I'm so happy. I feel like I, vicariously are participating in this process through Tracy. I too have grandchildren, and I have one who's particularly interested. I just have to get through some silliness with him at his age, and we're going to be focusing on this for him because I think it's a great program. I love the idea of introducing the children earlier, so they have an opportunity to be submersed in it and work through that. And I also like the idea that I just heard about the music. Oh my goodness, how nice that you're working to complement that. I too do sound healing. I'm sitting here envious of Chellee's beautiful crystal bowls there. So thank you all so much for, everything you do to participate with this beautiful modality and all the modalities of healing and others. I have 3 social media questions. I'm sure Tracy has explained some of that to you, that we get these from our audience, our listening audience, and our members. The first one is going to be, can you describe the energy of Kid Reiki? So can you describe that energy of Kid Reiki?
Definitely transformative, very, very transformative. Seeing things you may not have seen before that really support us in knowing what's important and being able to hold the energy for the children of the world today.
That's beautiful. And I take it, and I love the idea that you're looking to incorporate this program so that it would be available in other languages and other areas of the world. And that is just fantastic, because so many children now are really in need of those alternates and that, that spiritual uplift with that energy. So happy. Okay. So secondly, what ages can participate in Kid Reiki?
Yeah, so we are recommending that. Well, first of all, we want to make a couple of clarifications because we've found ourselves having to do this multiple times. So first and foremost, we have the Kid Reiki Master Teacher Training Program. And that Master Teacher Training Program is for adults 18 and over that have that are already Reiki masters. So, and that's where you would learn through that class how to then teach kids Reiki classes. So then the Kid Reiki classes that you would teach to children, we are recommending ages 6 to 12 for the Reiki 1 class. We are also in development of creating a Reiki 2 class. And the reason we chose 7 to 12 was actually thanks to April and her child development, and knowing that it was not until really age 7 that they can really have those fine motor skills to work with the symbols and so on. And we're really kind of using this as a broad spectrum generalization. We certainly understand that maybe a different 5-year-old could draw out the symbols, but we're going to the broad spectrum on this recommendation of ages. And then we're also developing a teen program. So a teen program that would be 12 to 16, because once a person reaches the age 16, they're old enough to take the adult class, the adult Reiki 1 and 2. So we're trying to put so much information out here and have classes that resonate with each age range of child, early child, as well as then moving into the teenage years. So yeah.
Wow, that's really that's well thought out, well planned, and I like the idea that we'll be able to bring that to the right age groups and have them participate fully. That's so important. So, yeah, really, congratulations. So the third question I have is, can parents and caregivers attend Kid Reiki?
So the answer to that is absolutely. In fact, we recommend it. We recommend that a parent or the caregiver attend with them. They would get the Reiki placement if they didn't already have Reiki. They will have Kid Reiki, which is a little bit different energy than Reiki 1 and 2 that for adults, but they would be able to work with their children. And that's kind of the point, is like for Reiki for families, so that the children can do Reiki on their parents and their parent or their siblings, and the parents can do Reiki on the children. And it's another set of eyes to kind of keep an eye on a classroom with, you could have 6 or 7, 5 or 6 or whatever, age group. And, with my youngest granddaughter, she's 5. Well, she's going to be 6 this month. So I have to make sure I correct that. Just one of her running around here at Christmas time was, a little bit overwhelming occasionally. So having a classroom with that age, another set of more sets of eyes is always beneficial.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, Chellie, I completely understand that that analogy. I have a 5-year-old, soon to be 6 in April, and I hesitate even to take him to what I call my Zen meditation area and treatment area, because he's a powerhouse, and boy, does he love to smack everything that's there with a mallet. So
it is fascinating, though. I have one grandson who I taught Reiki long before we started this program, when he was 8, and now he's 16. And, I did another adult Reiki class for him. And it's interesting how that has impacted his life over, the last, and when they're little, it's once they learn Reiki, they do have, there's a shift for them too. It's not just a shift for adults.
Yeah, well, good to know, because I, there's just so much going on for kids this day. They go to school all day, they go to other activities, they're learning to eat their meals in the car, driving between, what they're doing. And I just feel like we're missing that piece where, not only can they have that, downtime to decompress, but also to, clear their minds and allow them to, reset. So I thank you all for this. It's, a great opportunity for that, introducing that to the children. And right now, my last question is there anything that you've thought of during this interview time that you would like to share that you haven't shared already?
I have something.
Oh, there we go.
I just wanted to mention that we do, because you're talking about social media, we do have a Facebook group that people can join at any point in time, where we're sharing the progress of the program, and then also just some fun activities and insights that people may want to join for. And so you can find us at Kid Reiki on Facebook. So.
Perfect. I will be out there. I will be out there myself today. And Cami.
Yeah, to dovetail onto that, we have a website, actually. So our website, while we each have our individual websites, we created a website for Kid Reiki to make it easy to find classes and information and so on. So that is kidreiki.love. And so kidreiki.love will be where you can find more information about our course and find the classes and how to sign up on that. And then additionally, I just wanted to say that I personally am not a mother. I never had children my own self. So I wanted to mention that when I first was approached about teaching Reiki to children, I was really nervous about that because, I have nieces and nephews and so on. But I was nervous. And so that's actually one of the really great things about our suggesting that the parents are there at the class, because I was like, I don't know if I'm prepared to deal with meltdowns and, all of these different things. And I will say that the classes were amazing and there were never any, meltdowns or anything like that. But yeah, I wanted to just really mention that because I know everyone in this, or I don't know as much about Tracy, but so many people have children, have grandchildren, but as someone that hasn't had children, I have found such a beautiful energy in teaching kids. It has brought me so much joy that it has just been amazing. So if you're out there thinking, oh, I don't have kids, I couldn't teach kids, absolutely do not think that. You 100% can, and you'll have so much fun doing it.
Oh, thank you. That's really cool. All right. Well, I really thank you all. I appreciate all of you and what you're doing. From my heart, I just think that's wonderful. And what I do now is I wrap up with my little tagline. So I like to tell people that to see beauty in everything is a choice. Please choose wisely. And I am Millie Pampina. I am your co-guide for Ready, Set, Reiki. And I'm going to turn this back over now to Tracy. Thank you all so much. And Tracy, it's all yours.
Great. Thank you, Millie. And thank you, April, Cami, and Chellie. Thank you for letting us know about Kid Reiki, where you can get to choose your own adventure. So it'll take you magical places. So if you are interested in sending us a question, reach out to us at www.readysetreiki.com or check out our offerings on Feather Sister Wellness. You can check out the website for Kid Reiki, and also we will have in the link all of where you can go to April, Cami, and Chellie's web pages. Lots of knowledge here, as I said. So thank you everyone so much. As my name is Tracy Seawright, and this has been Ready, Set, Reiki.